let's take a look at what we thought were some of the biggest trades, and then we'll take a quick break, and then we'll go into winners and losers. So the big ones, the big bullet points, I think of this last week or so, things really got kicked off between Chicago and Angel City. These are two teams that I think sort of set in motion kind of the chaos. I initially gave a bit of breaking news saying that Sarah Gordon was rumored to head on over to Angel City, and then eventually that came to light with a massive release from Chicago saying that they had made a number of trades with both Angel City, San Diego FC, and OL Reign. But the biggest component out of that was that Chicago did trade Sarah Gordon and Julie Ertz and an international spot to Angel City in exchange for roster protection.
That was definitely the biggest trade to come out of last week for sure. And it was really the first time we saw movement from Chicago after falling short in the NWSL championship, head coach Rory Dames resigning, and then the reports coming out about Dames. Now Chicago in the news for this trade cycle and losing two of their biggest players. I mean, Julie Ertz, she did not play in this 2021 season due to injury, but a standout number 6 defensive midi for Chicago for years. She had been with the club since she was drafted with Chicago. And then Sarah Gordon, she became Iron Woman for Chicago and really solidified her spot in the center back and the back line for the Red Stars being traded away. It was the first trade that I saw that was like, what is happening at Chicago? They're just dismantling everything. And that's why it's the top of our biggest trade list right now, Chicago and Angel City. I mean, Angel City completely winning in this trade right there. Another big trade that we saw happen between Kansas City and North Carolina Courage, which was huge for Kansas City Current. They acquired Sam Ewis, midfielder from North Carolina Courage, and in that trade, the Current sent Kiki Pickett, first round and a first round draft pick in the 2022 NWSL draft over to North Carolina Courage. But for Kansas City, getting Sam Ewis as that midfielder, playmaker, creative mind that the Current needs. I know we touched on this in an earlier episode, but that was really just huge for Kansas City. They now have big players in the front line with Kristen Hamilton, even Haley May slots in there occasionally. They have 80 Franch in goal, so nothing's getting through that brick wall. And now to really connect all the pieces for Kansas City, Sam Ewis in the midfield. That was another huge trade that we saw unfold over the last week or so.
Yeah, absolutely big pickup for Kansas City. And then another big pickup, I think, for San Diego after sort of kind of picking up a couple players themselves. They made that first signing with Abby Dahlkemper as part of a 3-way trade to kind of kick things off, getting their first player on the roster, and then making extra trades with Spirit and Chicago to sort of start to flesh things out. But a really big piece that they got to really solidify things on the pitch for themselves was when they made a trade with New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC. Gotham traded goalkeeper Kaylin Sheridan to San Diego Wave FC in exchange for draft protection and allocation money from San Diego Wave. It's a huge move for this team. Kaylin Sheridan has been touted really over the last more recent years or so as one of the top goalkeeping talents in NWSL, coming off of an Olympic gold medal with Canada. And it's a huge get for San Diego for sure.
It says so much about what San Diego is trying to build with Abby Dahlkemper and now Kaylin Sheridan. And we spoke with Casey Stoney, head coach for San Diego Wave FC, and she said that her team wanted to be built around a foundation of defense. And she wanted it to be really hard to score on her San Diego Wave team. Abby Dahlkemper, now Kaylin Sheridan. Yes, that makes a lot of sense. Chronologically here, after Kaylin Sheridan left Gotham FC, there was moments, hours, day, half a day of fans, me, you, media being like, what is Gotham going to do without Kaylin Sheridan? They have Didi Herrera, who is a phenomenal goalkeeper, but you can't just have one phenomenal goalkeeper. What's going to happen here? Where are the moving pieces? And before long, it was reported that Gotham FC was in a trade with Orlando Pride. Gotham acquired Ali Krieger, defender, and goalkeeper Ashlyn Harris from Orlando Pride in exchange for a first-round pick in the 2022 NWSL draft, a 2023 NWSL draft natural third-round pick, and $50,000 in allocation money from Gotham. So a huge trade between Orlando Pride and Gotham FC, with two a big former U.S. women's national team stars, Krieger and Harris, making their way up the East Coast north to New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC. This was another huge trade that we saw. I think Chicago Red Stars trade was probably one of the biggest that shocked me. And then this second one, I heard some rumors and rumblings about it being reported from you, Sandra, and from other people on Twitter. And then once this trade actually went through and we saw Sloan, the little baby between Ali and Ashlyn, wearing her Gotham shirt, it became official. So now Gotham has a new goalkeeper in Ashlyn Harris and new defender in Ali Krieger. This was a big trade that happened.
I did love that announcement. It was like a family, like they announced a family, like they made a trade for the whole family, both Krieger Harris and their daughter, baby Sloan. It was adorable. If people haven't seen the social media on that, go check it out. But I'm with you. I mean, and like you said, the reporting around this window right now has sort of, been adjacent to all of these trades being made public and being made announced. The initial reporting from Magdalena Hin at The Athletic about that rumor, which eventually came to life. And then we're going to close it out with this one because it's still technically a rumor, nothing official yet, but another bit of source reporting from Lena Hin via The Athletic is that San Diego Wave FC are in the early stages of getting together the paperwork with Orlando Pride, reportedly to sign forward Alex Morgan as the next offensive piece for that team. So not a lot of details there because nothing official made. There hasn't been anything announced in terms of what that would mean for Orlando in terms of what they could possibly be receiving, right, on that end of things. But if this comes to fruition, Lisa, this would be the third time that Alex Morgan finds herself on an inaugural team in NWSL. And that's like massive. That is like history making type of stuff. So we will absolutely keep our eyes on that one for sure. But we had to close it out with some of the biggest points in with that one.
And Alex Morgan potentially going to San Diego. She's not the same player she was when she went to Orlando. She's evolved a little bit. She's a little bit older. She now has a family that is ever growing, that she needs to prioritize and take care of. And I think this is really interesting and a really fun move. Of course, it is just reported, as you said, Sandra. It's been reported that when the league's trade window reopens on December 17th, that's when we could find out more information about this. Again, we're recording this episode right now, Tuesday around noon, December 7th. So things could happen, but the 17th, when the trade window reopens, that is after the expansion draft and after that happens. So we'll see what happens in all these moving pieces, but those were some of the biggest trades that we saw happening in this trade window for the NWSL.